Surbi, namaskar to everyone from Manila. Adharaniya Shri Vatsji, Chairman of the governing body, and other members of the governing body, Professor Agarwal, Principal of the college, members of the teaching and non-teaching community of Deshbandhu College, dear students, my dear friend and colleague Hanif Qureshi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly delighted to be with all of you here today and happy to be back in my college, even though virtually. I have not visited the college since 1976 when I left it, but I have driven past the college many a time and never failed to look at the college with nostalgia. The gate of the college has shifted. In our times, it was on the main road facing the market. Now I think it has shifted to the other side. Nevertheless, I have extremely pleasant memories of the college that I got into by chance, but it was a college that gave me a great chance to grow. I hope all of you are doing well and are in good health. Let me thank the organizers for inviting me to participate in the college annual day and prize distribution function as chief guest and keynote speaker. But I think there is something that I still need to do to find my name in the alumni section of the college website. I want to congratulate all the students who have excelled and are receiving awards and the academic faculty for the recognition that they have received. The awards are only half the story. The other more important story is the continuous efforts that many more students and faculty members would have made. Each one of them deserves to be congratulated, and my compliments to them. I am particularly pleased to know of the many efforts made by the college in the promotion of sustainable living. That's really important and remarkable. While going through the website of the college, I also discovered something that I had not known about the person in whose name the college was established in 1952. Deshbandhu Gupta was not born as Deshbandhu. He was Ratiram, the son of a petition writer. I also discovered two striking similarities between him, a great man, and me, an ordinary human being. Both have a deep Haryana connection. He was born in Panipat, and I have served the Haryana cadre as a public servant for 38 years. He played a part in the movement that led to the formation of the state eventually, which I was allotted to when I joined the IAS in 1980. That is the first similarity. I'll talk about the second similarities soon. But before I do that, let me dwell on what makes ordinary men attain an extraordinary character. It is not their success, it is their struggle. It is their deeds and determination to achieve, not necessarily their achievements. Sri Ratiram left his educational institution to join the freedom struggle, inspired by Gandhiji, and also worked for the freedom of expression, the freedom of the press. Swami Shraddhananji gave him the title of Deshbandhu, and we are the proud inheritors of that name, which represented certain core principles of democracy and core values of life. As mentioned in the introduction, I have recently published a book called An Ordinary Life, Portrait of an Indian Generation. And that book powerfully underscores the role of core values in life. I have argued that it is possible to prosper in the world, especially in a developing country like ours, where there is a revolution of rising aspirations and cutthroat competition and yet preserve one's principles. Paying the price for adhering to those principles might seem painful, but that is like the pain that a mother feels while bringing new life into the world. It is inescapable, it is joyous, and it is the axis around which the world moves. Like Deshbandhu Gupta ji, Swami Shraddhanand ji, Mahatma Gandhi, there always are millions of ordinary persons who believe in paying the price. I too firmly believe, and I would like all of you to believe, that honesty and truth are not merely ideals that remain elusive. They form the survival kit of many whose lives don't seem extraordinary because they're not popular. Their stories are not heard because they haven't been written about. These are stories that represent an era, an entire generation. These stories are not over. Every generation will need these stories, and I'm sure there are many which abound in your college. Every generation will need these stories when it has exhausted its amoral quest of pure materialism or reached the apotheosis of its permissiveness and compromises. These ordinary lives may not be well known or heroic in popular perception. In their own limited world, and for those who come in contact with such men and women, such people are individuals who have lived life on their own terms. They have faced trials and tribulations, traumas and triumphs, but remained afloat because they had a hard inner core. They may not be icons, recognized and idolized. Their life inspires because it is a vindication of certain lasting values that survive in every society. Such lives provide hope and keep us connected with the unseen forces that govern us. There are many in every society who think with their heart and feel with their heads. They keep working silently and selflessly. They could be around us helping the marginalized. They could be away from the public gaze, tilling soil or tending trees. They could be the unidentified pillars of the system. They may be those writing but not being read. They could be waging little battles unrecognized. These are people who rise above their situations, unmindful of their own struggles. They hear the unspoken and respond before being beseeched. Happiness is not a goal for them, it is their attainment. And if I can put it, they have attained a balance between Shahi, which means having the resources to fulfill one's desires, and Fakiri, which is the ability to rise above the trap of such desires. We all have stories. Not all of them are told in public. They are preserved in households and narrated in families and mohallas as tales of inspiration. These stories are relevant. Their relevance keeps growing as the stories spread and lead to more conversations. And these conversations are important for individual relationships, for families, for societies, and for systems. Parents, priests, principals, scientists, academicians, managers, administrators, and leaders must engage in such conversation in order to maintain their social contract. A well-meaning conversation can never be a challenge to authority. Let me quote one of my favorite English novelists whom I studied in college, George Eliot, who in Middlemarch said, and I quote, "For the growing good of the world is partly dependent on unhistoric acts, and that things are not so ill with you and me as they might have been, is half owing to the number who lived faithfully a hidden life and rest in unvisited tombs. Unquote. My father, whom I called Bauji, was one such ordinary man, but one of his extraordinary deeds was not to interfere in my decisions and let me join in what was then considered an ordinary college like Deshpande. After failing to secure admission in the only college of my choice of Delhi University in 1973, after passing out school, I began to prepare for going to Chandigarh. Suddenly, on 13 July 1973, I saw a very small notice in a newspaper announcing the availability of a few seats in BA History Honours in Deshpande College. The following day, I reached the college, and instead of history, I applied for English Honours as seats were available in the course. What happened on that day was very interesting. I entered the principal's office. Mr. Mahinder Singh, who later became the Dean of Students' Welfare in the university, was a principal. He saw my mark sheet and he said, "Yahan kyun aaye ho?" It is one of those questions that you know the answer to, but you ask in order to express your bewilderment at what or who is before you. He thought, and perhaps rightly so, that an individual with such good marks deserved to be in a better institution. I was underage by 21 days, and he promised to have the age condition condoned and asked me to deposit the fees. As I did not expect the formalities to be completed that very day, I had not carried the required amount, so I told him that I could do it the next day. Not wanting me out of the college, he said, "I can have the fees waived if you can't afford it." I thanked him for the offer, which I declined, and I returned to the college the following day and paid the fees. I could afford the fees, but I could not afford to lose this opportunity. Now, because I didn't want to commute to Delhi from my home in Faridabad, where we lived, I asked my father that I wanted to hire a room and live by myself because Deshpande didn't have a hostel. He agreed without any hesitation. And it didn't bother him or me that the room that I was a tenant in was part of a two-room quarter belonging to an ambulance driver who lived in the second room. In fact, my father was proud of the fact that I could adjust with him. He was also happy that I was cooking my own meals, washing my own utensils and clothes, and also had no one to clean my room and toilet, which I had to do myself. These things were of no consequence. No work was beneath the dignity of any human being. It did not matter to him if I didn't devote myself to my studies, because that was my duty as a student. Like any other father, he was delighted when I topped the Delhi University in the BA first year exam, and he proudly showed to everyone the letter that the principal of the college wrote. By the way, I still preserve that letter. Now, no sooner the news about a Deshpande college student topping the university, that too in English, spread across South and North campus colleges. I had many visitors coming from different colleges to see me. Two colleges from North Campus, including the one that had denied me admission, sent feelers for me to migrate. But I stayed with Deshpande, and my teachers, Mr. Bhalla, Mr. Uppkar Singh, Mr. Dhawan, Mrs. Nalini Khanna, she was Nalini Ashta when she joined the college. Mr. Sood, Mr. Behel, uh, I hope I have taken, and Mr. Jonathan Wade, I think he's no more. Uh, they placed great faith in me and hope in me, and I didn't leave the college. That, friends, is the second similarity that I referred to. Mr. Ratiram left St. Stephen's to join the freedom movement, and I rejected their overture to assert my own freedom and honor. I give a lot of credit for what I am to my parents, for they allowed me to do what I wanted. They gave me the freedom to make my mistakes as I was entitled to my failings. They never imposed any belief, ritual, or any of their preferences on me, or for that matter, on any of the siblings. For them, we were independent human beings and were capable of understanding our responsibilities. If we were, if we didn't, we were accountable to ourselves. Obviously, that had such a strong impact on our personalities that we treated our children similarly. In fact, one day our daughter told her Nani that she and her brother had to be extremely careful about what they did because we as parents never tell them what to do. They never stop us from doing anything. So we have to decide what not to do, is what she said. But let us talk today a bit about what not to do as we confront a challenging future and face complex circumstances. To my mind, the three big challenges that we face today are equality, environment, and ethics. I would like to draw your attention to certain mega trends in our world today, which are shaping our present and future. Our world is at risk, facing pressures on many fronts, but it doesn't need to be, particularly where the risks stem from human activities and may be tempered by human choices. By making the proper choices today, without further delay, it is not too late to shape the major trends of our time in a direction that is sustainable and delivers benefits to all. As if the crisis of climate change and that of growing disparities in the world were not enough, the planet is confronting an unprecedented health, social, and economic crisis due to the COVID pandemic. Apart from the need for collaboration among communities and formation of alliances in governments, these crises call for a change in behavior and mindset if we have to work towards our ambition for sustainability. Several mega trends are shaping our world over time. These include climate change, demographic shifts, urbanization, the emergence of digital technologies, and inequalities. All are the result of human activity, and as such, they can be shaped by human decisions and policy choices. Three trends: the demographic, urbanization, and technological innovation are manifestations of human progress. They are inevitable and will occur as long as humans act and interact with each other. Climate change and environmental degradation and inequalities, by contrast, are not inevitable. The first three megatrends generate explicit benefits for societies and economies. They should not be stopped or obstructed, but rather they should be steered and shaped to maximize positive impacts and minimize adverse ones. Climate change and environmental degradation have no positive side and must be reversed. Similarly, the overall impact of persistent and rising inequalities is negative. While some people may emerge as winners, many more lose out, and the process undermines sustainable development. Inequalities have to be corrected. The COVID pandemic, the greatest immediate challenge of our time, while it affects us all, it does not affect all equally. It has highlighted and deepened existing inequalities among and within countries. It has had the most adverse impacts on countries and groups already at greatest risk of being left behind. The crisis is impacting megatrends in different ways. For example, the increase in online work because of lockdowns has accelerated digitalization of the economy and is driving further technological innovation. But not all jobs can be done online, and high-speed access to the internet is very uneven. This means COVID-19 is accentuating the digital divide. On the positive side, as economic activity has ground to a halt, so has the generation of greenhouse gas emissions, air and water pollutions. The status of biodiversity has improved. These gains might prove short-lived if the recovery does not place nature and climate at the center. As damaging as the crisis has been, it has also provided a huge opportunity to build back better, reimagining many of our institutions, economic and social structures, and behaviors and activities to orient them decisively towards sustainable development. The drivers of climate change and environmental degradation are deeply rooted in our societies and economies. Reversing this megatrend will require transformative changes, including conscious lifestyle changes affecting consumption preferences and behavior, cleaner production processes, greater resource efficiency, technological innovation, and corporate responsibility. As young leaders of tomorrow, it is pivotal that youth are informed and engaged with the global vision for the future. Today, there are 1.8 billion people between the ages of 10 and 24. They are the largest generation of youth in history. Close to 90% of them live in developing countries, where they make up a large proportion of the population. Connected to each other like never before, young people want to and already contribute to the resilience of their communities, proposing innovative solutions, driving social progress, and inspiring political change. Provided with the necessary skill and opportunities needed to reach their potential, young people can be a driving force for supporting development. Your role in driving sustainable development will be as critical thinkers, as change makers, as innovators, as communicators, and as leaders. When young people are empowered with the knowledge of their rights and equipped with leadership skills, they can drive change in their communities and countries. In conclusion, it is important for you to understand these mega trends and act as agents of change, mobilizing to improve the lives of people and the health of the planet. As you step into the new year, think about how you will shape or be shaped by these mega trends. Education has a lot to do with what you make of yourself. Institutions do play a part, but can seldom be more powerful than the individual. It is true that an institution is always greater than an individual, but a man is a maker of his own destiny, and no institution can make your destiny if the individual does not make the effort. You may believe in luck, but do not equate it with destiny. The world is full of examples where people rose to great heights because of the dint of their perseverance, their commitment. They had clarity of purpose, the conviction of thought, and the courage of their conviction. Remember, the three are like the three lions of Ashoka pillar. And the fourth lion is the unseen force that guides your destiny. It could be your belief in God. It could be your faith in a divine power. It could be your submission to the known and unknown forces of physics, chemistry, and biology. Or it could be your humility and acknowledgement of the limitations of the human mind and its prowess. Together, they can make truth triumph. That, to my mind, is a sure formula for fulfillment, honor, and happiness. I wish all the three of you in great measure. And once again, I express my gratitude for this invitation, and I thank you all for your patience. Thank you very much.